Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brandon. Today we're going to be talking about the Maxfind FF Street Series electric skateboard. Full disclosure, Maxfind did send this to me to review, but I promise I will be brutally honest. This is my opinion. I'm able to be transparent with you guys and let you know what I actually think about this board. And I'll let you guys know my opinion if I think this is a worthwhile buy for you. And while I have you here, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel, because on my next video, I will be giving away a pair of cloud wheels. So make sure to hit subscribe and stay tuned for that one. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. On the Maxfind website, they advertise this board to have a top speed of 25 miles per hour and a top range of 21 miles. It's able to climb 30% slopes and has a 270-day warranty. This board comes standard with 96mm wheels, but has the great option of opting for 105mm cloud wheels. Most people in the electric skateboard community would agree the cloud wheels are superior, so that's the option I went with. And the first thing I did before testing it further was install those wheels. This is a hub motor electric skateboard, and it's rocking two 750 watt hub motors. They're utilizing the Hobby Wing ESC. It has a Superflex composite deck with a carbon fiber coating. And one interesting design on the deck is that it has a fast swap battery that you can access from the top, so you could potentially change the battery an unlimited amount of times. They have double kingpin trucks and a portable carry handle at the top of the board that is super convenient. The board itself weighs 20 pounds and it's able to carry a max load of 220 pounds. And they also advertise a charge time of 180 minutes per battery. Well, as I mentioned earlier, they advertise on a single battery that you get a max distance of 21 miles. So I'm gonna do some real world testing. I'm a medium-sized dude, about 195 pounds, 200 pounds max when I'm carrying some camera gear. And I'm gonna test it out and let you guys know what my distance is. Okay guys, so I'm tired. I just did leg day right before I did that test, so my legs are like jello right now. We had a max distance of 10.6 miles, so basically 10 and a half miles. There was 820 feet of elevation gain, so it was uphill and downhill. It wasn't a completely flat test, but I wanted this to be a real world test. You know, this is stoplights, stop signs, some sidewalks, some road, and just like I would be going to the gym or the store or whatever, kind of a daily ride, I was able to get 10.5 miles out of it. So my max distance was 10.5 miles. There you go. Okay, so we just fully recharged the board and I'm gonna do a top speed test now. Well, that feels fast. On an electric skateboard, anything over 20 miles an hour, your eyes start watering. But I hit exactly 25 miles per hour. So just as advertised, that's what they say on their website. I hit that no problem. I think this was a fair test. It was a nice, flat, nice paved road, nice and flat, no elevation gain. And yeah, I think that was a good test. So 25, top speed. Okay, so here's the part of the review video where I give you my honest opinion, whether I think this board is worth it for you. I'm gonna list all my pros and cons. So first, let me list all the pros and the things that I really liked about this skateboard. This thing is super rad. The carbon fiber coating and the way this board is shaped and designed looks totally badass. I love it. It's one of my favorite looking, aesthetically pleasing boards that I own. The second pro for this board is the torque on it. It is extremely fast off the line. When I'm at a intersection and there's cars coming, I never feel like I don't have enough power. This thing just gets up and goes. It just feels a lot safer if you have the adequate torque. The top speed though, it's more personal preference. For me, I don't really like going over 20 miles an hour on an electric skateboard. I just feel kind of sketched out. But me personally, I just like, you know, cruising, carving, floating, and just enjoying my ride. But I do need that power and I do need that acceleration at the stoplights and the stop signs. And this thing definitely delivered in the torque section. So I never felt like I didn't have enough juice. Even going uphill at a stop sign, I was able to keep up with the cars, you know, up until about 20 miles an hour, and then they step on the gas and they obviously beat me from there. And that being said, let's talk about how it feels. You know, I said it's fast off the line, but it feels incredibly floaty. This is a fun board to ride. It definitely is one of the softer feeling boards as far as the floaty feeling. I don't feel all the gravel and all the cement. It's a combination of the cloud wheels and this rubber mat on top here. So the grip tape is actually a rubber, and that absorbs a lot of the vibrations as well as the cloud wheels. And man, I feel like I'm floating. I don't feel cracks and bumps. There was only one time, you know, it was a big railroad track. I had to slow down, and obviously I felt those railroad tracks. But for the most part, any sidewalk crack that's pretty uneven, I'm going over a freeway that has a big crack in it, I just cruise right over it, smooth as butter. You know, it's nice on my joints, on my knees, on my legs. I don't feel sore or like I just beat myself up after I went for a ride on this thing. So it is very comfortable, very comfortable. I was surprised that one of my favorite things about this board is the handle at the top. I have a large campus that I'm carrying this board once I get there, and then a large building that I'm walking through. And carrying a heavy skateboard, it's just awkward to carry, and then I'm sweating by the time I get there. This handle is so convenient, just being able to pull it. I mean, it's not a heavy board, but you know, it's just like barely pulling a light suitcase is what it feels like. And by the time I get to work, I'm still dry, I'm not sweating, so it actually made a difference that I didn't have to carry a heavy board with me. These trucks, the double kingpin trucks, were, I felt like, adequate size. I was able to take some high-speed turns. I never felt out of control. I just felt planted to the ground. I'm zipping around corners. I never felt out of control. I'm turning, making sharp turns. It just feels dialed in. The trucks are stiff. I never experienced any speed wobbles on any of my testing, or any time I was riding this, I never had one wobble. And those double kingpin trucks really performed well for me. It's a Chinese company, but I believe this board shipped out of Canada, so I got it here in 4 days. They advertise 3 to 5 days for their boards to arrive, which is really good. And I think that's all the pros that I wanted to mention. I'm not sure if I'm getting across to you about how much fun this board was too. I said it felt floaty, it felt torquey, and I'm not sure if I mentioned to you, but this board is extremely fun. It was so much fun. I'm going to continue riding it to work in the meantime and using this thing because I really do enjoy it. I just wanted to make sure I'm emphasizing that this board was a ton of fun to ride. So let's go ahead and get to some of the cons, and I'm going to be a little nitpicky but also honest with you here. The rubber grip tape that I mentioned earlier as a pro, it makes it feel soft and floaty, and I'm not feeling the vibrations come through on my feet, but it also is sort of a con because it's not as grippy. So it's soft and nice feeling on your feet, but I had a few times where I needed to do a hard braking and I slid forward and I had to kind of run it out and jump off the board to stop completely, where I felt like my feet probably should have stayed planted if I had normal grip tape on the board. So the trade-off of that soft cushiony rubber is that it's not as sticky to your feet. So if you have a quick acceleration or a quick brake, your foot might slide around on that. So the board is concaved in a way that it's not completely flat. So there's times where it'll just catch the lip. And that was by design to make sure that your foot doesn't slide off of it. So good on them on the board design to have that extra concaved edges around there. But just so you know, the grip tape is, you know, rubber, so your foot's not gonna stick on there for those quick accelerations and those quick brakes. You have to really shift your weight and make sure that you're in sync with your hand there. So I would list that as a con as far as the grip tape. I wish there was a way that it could be that soft rubber with the more hard sandpaper style grip tape on top so my foot stays planted on the board. So another minor con is the way you charge this battery. It doesn't have any type of percentage indicator. It just has a light. So when you plug this in, it'll have a red light indicating that the battery is low, but you're not sure how much longer it's gonna take for the battery to charge. You don't know what percentage you're at. So that's a minor gripe of mine. Other boards have a percentage indicator on the block, or some of them are on the board, or you might have an app that you connect to and you're able to see exactly what percentage you're at, how much longer it's gonna take for your battery to charge. This one is just a red light. So for me, it was around an hour and a half, 2 hours for a full charge when it was all the way dead. But it's a small gripe, but I wish, yeah, there was a percentage indicator telling me exactly what my charge was on my battery. And then I think the biggest con that I wanna mention is the battery itself. I wish that it was a little longer range. It's convenient that you're able to change it out. A big part of their marketing is having this interchangeable battery, so you could technically bring 3 or 4 batteries with you in a backpack and have unlimited range. So it's up to you to purchase those batteries, but just on the standard battery, I wish it was a few miles longer just to prevent me from having range anxiety. The Maxfind website though does state that the max range is 21 miles on the standard battery, but they also advertise that it was tested on a 160-pound rider in mode 2, and that they were easy on the acceleration on a flat land, and they're honest with their numbers. So a lot of times you see a number like that and you're like, there's no way they got 21 miles. For me, that's why I tested it for you guys as a 200-pound man. I was doing it uphill. I was in mode 4 at its fastest mode. So I was able to get 10 miles on that for my real world application of what I would use this thing for. And the last con I would say for this board is probably the price. It is a little more expensive than some of the other boards in this market, but I think you're paying for the carbon fiber and the design and the Maxfind brand, and I think it is still worth it, to be honest with you guys. They're advertising a Halloween sale on their website right now, $800 for this exact model with the standard range battery. So $800 for a skateboard in this category. So it is a higher end for this hub motor style skateboard with this amount of range. I do think it's worth it. I think I mentioned to you guys, I have a ton of fun on it and I'm gonna continue riding it to work. So with weighing the pros and the cons, I really do think this board is worth it. Please use the link in the description because that does help support the channel and sends a little funds my way so I can continue making these videos. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What do you think of this cloud wheel combination color, the blue with the carbon fiber? It wasn't my first choice, but it's kind of growing on me now, and You know what? I think I'm gonna stick to that color and keep those on there. I hope you guys are having a great week. Comment below. I love interacting with you guys. Let me know what you think of this board, what videos you'd like to see. Just how's your week going? Let me know. I'll remind you guys as usual, get outside, stay hydrated, and keep on moving.